Walt Disney once said, "If we can dream it, we can do it." If your dream is to live near Disney World, then you can do it, and I can help. Hi, I'm Realtor Victor Naraki, and I would appreciate the opportunity to make your dream a reality. I can help you decide which is best for you, a new construction home or pre-owned, based on your needs for size, neighborhood, and most importantly, your budget. How do I do that? Well, it's quite simple. I listen to what you want, and by using my experience as a realtor specializing in homes near Disney World for almost 15 years, I can find you the home you will love. Visit celebratingflorida.com and take your first step to making your dream a reality. I encourage you to create a free, no obligation account on my website. By doing so, you'll unlock the website's full potential and be able to enter specific criteria, save listings, and browse new properties sent to you by email. Remember, if you can dream it, we can do it.
Remember that website, celebratingflorida.com. And when you meet Victor, be sure to tell him the Grand Circle Tour podcast sent you.
The Disneyland Limited now leaving for a Grand Circle Tour of the Magic Kingdom. All passengers board.
Star Tours announces the boarding of the Endor Express. All passengers, please prepare for immediate boarding.
Please stand clear of the doors. Por favor, manténganse alejado de las puertas. To those guests who've just joined us, welcome. For those of you standing, please hold on to the handrails throughout our journey and stay clear of the door.
Please keep your hands, arms, and legs inside the train and remain seated at all times. Now then, hang on to them hats and glasses, because this here's the wildest ride in the wilderness.
I am Sam, the American Eagle, and I am proud to introduce the Grand Circle Tour podcast, a celebration of Disney parks, but mostly the American ones. I really like these guys.
Hi, passengers, and welcome to another fun episode of the Grand Circle Tour podcast. I am your host today, Ringmaster Holly, and with me I have my two favorite co-hosts. I have no idea which one of them came into the studios first, so we're going to go with the person closest to me, and that is Conductor Dan. How are you, Dan, and Waltzo?
I am doing awesome. Wrong answer, by the way. Stan was in before me, but
yeah, it was too late. I already had it in my mind who I was calling on.
And not only that, I think I live closer to you than Dan does.
Well, I meant in the little bubble here.
And also, you got to cross borders. It's the whole thing.
Yeah, that's true. Okay,
it is the whole thing.
I'll give you that.
Yeah. I want to spend a few minutes just talking about these Disney remakes. How we always complain about them, and Disney's doing. Why are they doing this? It's so annoying that they're recreating these movies. Blah 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 blah. Well, we're recording this episode on the 25th. That's the Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. Lilo and Stitch came out this weekend. Did you guys happen to see the box office numbers yet?
No, I haven't.
I'm going to tell you what the
but
box office.
I know it was good because people that haven't been to movies in years told me they went.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so let me give you a couple numbers that I pulled before this episode started. So this is as of 7:00 on Sunday. So Sunday isn't over yet, but domestically, Lilo and Stitch has made $183 million. That's in 3 days: Friday, Saturday, and today. Okay. Mm-hmm. Internationally, it has made $341 million. Internationally, it is already the 5th highest grossing movie of the year. Domestically, it's the 4th highest grossing movie of the year. The movie itself cost $100 million to make, and they put another $100 million in for advertising. So it cost $200 million all said and done. They've already made 341 internationally. It's just insane. What's going on.
Needed. It was needed, right, for Disney movies. This was definitely needed, and I have heard nothing but great things. I haven't heard anything negative yet, which is shocking, right? Go on.
Let me just tell you quick daily, right? So these are daily numbers. I always like to look at this. So like, what movie on a specific day made the most out of all the movies on days, right? So the number one was Friday. Lilo and Stitch made the most movie on a day in 2025 that any other movie had. Number 2 was Saturday. Number 3 was today, Sunday. Then you have 4 and 5 were Minecraft movies. And guess what number 6 was? It's a trick question. It's the movie. It's Lilo and Stitch for tomorrow. That's already pre-purchased. Is
Oh my
already the
goodness.
5th highest day.
Wow.
This is domestic numbers. 37.5 million for tomorrow. That hasn't even happened yet. A pre-purchase movie. By the way, about $60 of that is from the Hanson family because we will be going tomorrow
Nice.
at 9:50 a.m., which should tell you something else, that there's a movie out at 9:50 a.m., which is crazy. I know it's Memorial Day,
Yeah.
but like it's super early. I mean, I snagged it because it's good for our family, but still.
The twins are going to see this on a field trip this week, this coming week. So that's pretty cool. It was like for perfect attendance or something. So they get to go on a field trip to go see
That's cool.
Lilo and Stitch. Yeah.
You guys know Lilo and Stitch is my favorite Disney movie, so I'm super happy. I love it. You know, I love that it's getting the good reviews that it has been getting.
Right.
People want to see this movie. But I'll tell you this. It's not going to stop after this performance. Disney's just going to keep recreating all these movies. And if they're smart about it, they'll put it out on holiday weekends like this.
Yeah, try telling that to Snow White how good the remakes do.
Well, that's true, but guess what? Lilo and Stitch is more than going to make up for it.
Yeah,
right.
That has other things.
But that was a PR nightmare.
Yeah.
That could have been a great movie. When I've seen the trailers for that, I'm like, oh, that actually looks pretty good, right? But it was just a PR nightmare. It just ruined it.
Yeah, I'm actually planning on going on Tuesday to Lilo and Stitch. So
yeah,
there
you go. So
yeah,
very cool.
Stay off.
Okay, next up we have our captain, Stan Solo. Stan, what's up?
Waltz up with me. So, man, I've been on a lot of these lately. What? Is there no one else on this group? I did like 3 or 4 in a row here.
You know why? Because you were away for so long. Now
I guess so.
I'm not joking. You have to get your episodes in.
I get my episodes in. So last week I talked about I ordered when I was in Hong Kong. There was in the 2 Disney hotel rooms I stayed in. They have these water purifiers that are a countertop system. They almost look like a Keurig machine, and you could do like room temperature water or hot water. It does like hot water, like in 3 seconds, like boiling hot water in like 3 seconds. And
that's cool.
I'm really impressed with this machine. So after I got home, I was like, I'm going to search for one of these. And I checked Amazon. They don't have the exact same make and model because I actually took pictures of the make and model and the serial number and all that because I wanted to get the same one. So I ordered something similar. So I talked about it last week. It came, long story short, I ordered the wrong one. The one I ordered just did room temperature. It didn't do the hot water. So sorry, Amazon, I returned it even though I had already opened it and whatnot. Reordered the one that I wanted. And then Amazon sent me the exact same one that they sent the time that I ordered wrong. So I had to return that one and reorder it again. And lo and behold, the right one came. And
good.
And I absolutely love this machine. It is. I don't know how I lived without this thing.
So do you drink a lot of tea or something? Is that why you need the water instantly hot?
Not so much. Oh, it's convenient for that. We actually took our kettle and just my wife wants to throw it away, and I'm like, well, don't throw it away. Like, let's put it away or something. You know, we might need a kettle someday. But I like it that it tastes like bottled water. It doesn't taste like I've been using the big Culligan water jugs for I don't know how many years now, 30 years. Wow. And the price keeps going up on these Culligan jugs, and I'm getting tired of lugging these things to and from my car. And I always got 3 or 4 empty jugs floating around the house, taking up space. And I was like, I'm sick of these jugs already. So I got the water coolers, like the big one that we had in our kitchen that's packed up, ready to go somewhere. And I'm really happy with the little countertop model.
All because of Tokyo or Hong Kong?
It was in Hong Kong, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hong Kong Disney stay. All right, pretty cool. I'm gonna skip my waltz up because our topic today kind of goes over things that I have been doing in the park. So we are going to hear from MEI really quick, and then we'll go into our topic.
Hey there, it's Ken the voiceover guy, and I'm here with Lori Oliveri from MEI Mouseband Travel. Lori, people often hear travel agents specializing in Disney, and the first thing that comes to mind is a Walt Disney World vacation. Is that the only thing you can book for your clients?
No, I can book all kinds of cruises, land trips, river cruises. I can book about just about anything from rental cars to all-inclusive resorts in the Dominican Republic to river cruises in Europe. I can also book Nat Geo trips and Adventures by Disney.
If you would like more information on booking your dream vacation, visit their website at meitravel.com. And don't forget to tell them the Grand Circle Tour podcast sent you.
Right now is a great time to reach out to MEI because there are so many things happening on both coasts between Epic and all the deals and steals going on for Disney World. And then, of course, we have Disneyland 70th anniversary. So that's what we're going to talk about today. And I know that Dan keeps talking about coming out this way. And Dan, are you going to make it out for the 70th, you think? Or is that still just in the plans?
It's not looking good. I'd like to come out, but I don't know. It's not looking good for this year.
Did you say Dan or Stan?
I said Dan, but I was going to go to Stan next.
Yeah.
Dan's face was so perplexed.
You get really confused our listeners. They're like, wow,
I thought you said Dan and then Stan. Was what I thought you said.
Well, I'm sorry to hear that. I was really hoping you would come out too.
But Dan's going.
I am not going. No,
Oh, you're not going either.
No, I'm not going to make it out for the 70th.
So what are we doing this topic for if we're not going?
I know. We should have had Justin on. I think he's coming out.
Justin's going.
So funny. So the 70th celebration just started on May 16th. I have no idea why they picked May 16th. Because the actual anniversary is obviously July 17th. So I'm not sure why they picked May 16th to actually start the festivities.
I heard that that's what they did for the 60th. Not the same day, but like mid-May was what they did. And they don't want to start the day of the actual celebration because they could get like 2 full YouTuber days, like where the park's like probably packed,
Well, I mean, don't get me wrong. I'm grateful because I am blocked out all summer. So I wouldn't have been able to do any of this stuff if they did start it on the actual date. But so the festivities started officially on May 16th, and they have a lot going on. I was there on May 16th. We didn't arrive until later in the afternoon. But as you know, all of the media, YouTubers, everybody was there first thing in the morning. And one big perk of this is that the wait times for the rides are really low because everybody's only walking around doing videos and photos and stuff, and they're not actually riding rides. So that's one big perk right now. Yes, Stan.
How was it the line getting in? Because you said you went later in the afternoon. Was there like a regular day no line type of thing, or was it still lined up really good?
It's weird. The lines
getting into the park,
really bad. Yeah, the lines have been really bad getting into the parks. I'm not sure why, because they have that new process that we've talked about where you just scan your Magic Band, your ticket or whatever, and you kind of just walk through. But it seems like that's taking longer. I don't know why. Maybe because the cast member has to verify. I don't know. But that process seems to be actually slowing things down. But nonetheless, it doesn't take that long. I mean, maybe 7 minutes or something. So the lines are very long, but it still is a pretty easy process to still go through. One notable thing when you first come in, they have since changed this, but when you enter the Esplanade, there is a huge 50-foot sculpture, like a glass sculpture that represents like a castle. And it has little flags at the top of all the original lands. And they were playing like lullaby music. Did you guys hear about this?
No.
It was like music box music. And normally it's all Disney music, right? I mean, this still was Disney music, but it was lullaby music.
Like that? Okay.
Yes. So people were complaining about it because they said it was very boring. It was making them fall asleep. In fact, I saw reels with people just passed out sleeping in the Esplanade because they were so bored of this music. I'm not really sure the purpose of the lullaby. but we were kind of thinking that that sculpture looked like a music box. So that would make sense. I mean, it still wouldn't make sense. I don't know why they would have but it didn't exactly look like music. But anyways, they've changed it since then. It's back to the normal music. But I'm curious. So if you guys find anything about that, let me know, because I'm
And
wondering what was
the
the
sculpture's still there, though, right?
yeah, the sculpt that's supposed to be there all the way until 2026 summer, when this festivity officially ends. But
And is
and
this
then of
like
course
right in the middle where that compass thing is on the ground, like normally?
in the middle, it's over
Yeah.
in that area.
Okay.
It's very pretty. But there was a lot of attention on this because at the top they had a little um plaque or something that was supposed to look like Mickey and Walt, like the partners, and it didn't. It represented a certain president, and that was all the rage. So they actually had to to change that, which is so funny. So it really goes to show you that Disney really does listen to what people are talking about on social media and complaining about, because they changed that out and then they changed the music. So it's quite interesting that
Well, yeah, because people, when they're sleeping in the Esplanade, they're not like buying the Coca-Colas. And that doesn't not good for
I don't want
business.
them sleeping.
I didn't mind the music. It was different. I don't know that I wanted, 16 months or 14 months of it, but it was different. It was still Disney music, but it was like music box lullaby music. So,
Interesting.
anyways, so the theme of this is celebrate happy,
Hmm.
which when I first heard it, I was like, that's kind of cheesy. But I guess they all are kind of cheesy, right? Every theme that they come up with is kind of cheesy. Jonas Brothers did the theme song for this. It's catchy. It's a fun little bop or whatever.
I
And
had
then
no
the
idea it was Jonas Brothers when I first listened to it until afterwards I read that it was the Jonas Brothers that did it.
yeah.
Mind you, I wouldn't be able to pick out the Jonas Brothers in a crime lineup if my life depended on it. So don't go by me.
So the colors are very happy. They are like the bright pink and purple and yellow, and not my favorite color scheme, but it works. It's very spring-like, and all the characters, of course, have brand new outfits, which again, I don't love either. I think Minnie's has the cutest one, like with
Hmm.
some ruffles and things. A lot of them look like
Bad tailoring.
60s jumpsuits or something. Like, I don't know. Like, it's
Mickey's in particular with that weird cut on the bottom. How like the suit does not match up at the bottom at all.
yeah.
Like he
And
hired the
then
worst tailor he could find
yeah.
to make
And then
his special anniversary suit.
and then Chip and Dale, I mean, they're always so cute, right? But they look like 50-year-old jazzercise grandmas, like
Yeah.
in their little outfits. Like, I don't know. So I don't love the outfits. I don't love the color scheme, but a lot of people do.
Hey,
So
it beats the
whatever.
big pink castle, right? That Disney World did.
Yeah. So of course the castle is adorned with the 70 and like the pinks and purple, and I don't know if it's like I don't know what color you call that. It's like a bluish purple.
It's a celebrate
So
happy color.
yeah. But there is a lot going on. Did you guys look at any of this stuff? Does
Oh, I
anything
thought
Yeah.
you were just
speak
going
to
to tell
you?
us stuff. We're going to go, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, that sounds cool. No, we
I
did
mean,
some
you
research.
guys like to watch YouTube and do research and stuff. So I didn't know if there was
Yeah.
something that you guys were
I
like,
watched all the YouTubers. I was into it, all
okay,
there first. But the one thing I will say, I didn't know the costumes, so I'm googling it as you're talking right now.
yeah,
And oh my goodness, I don't know how anyone likes any of these. By the way, I think Pluto's is the best. By the way,
because it's just a collar.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just Pluto.
Yeah. Minnie's is cute. I think Minnie's is okay.
I think Minnie's is the best. I don't know, but a lot of times people like to dress like them, but I wouldn't even
Yeah,
try because it's just I don't know. Anyways.
Yeah. Yeah.
So definitely
Yeah,
not my
I did
favorite
quite a
one.
fair amount of research on these. The one thing that really amazed me, and also didn't I mean, we've been recording now for 20 minutes. We haven't talked about any food yet. They introduced over 70 new food and beverage offerings. And some
Oh,
of them
wow.
are really neat and some of them are really cute and yeah, they make sense. And then others, it's like a tuna pickle sandwich or something like that.
Well,
Okay, but actually, I'm glad you brought that up. We need to talk about that, Stan. Go
Yeah.
ahead, Dan, and then we'll come back to that.
No, I was just gonna say, like, it's like a little bit overkill with the snacks and the food now, right? Like, obviously they're doing 70 different food choices because it's the 70th, and like
Yeah.
there are people crazy enough that are gonna try all 70 of them.
Yeah.
Right.
And that's why you come up with that. What is it? Tuna pickle sandwich? Like,
Yeah,
at some
because they're
point,
running
people
out of
stop-
ideas. Like
exactly, they stop thinking of things.
nothing says the 70th anniversary. Mind you, I guess if you're 70, yeah, tuna pickle sandwich for lunch, that
No,
sounds
okay,
good.
but this
Do you know
is what
Go
I
ahead,
was
sorry.
just talking to Chris about this today. I think that they did the tuna pickle sandwich. By the way, I've heard it's amazing because they're throwing it back to when it first opened, when they had the Chicken of the Sea ship that served the tuna sandwiches.
Okay.
With
Do you remember
pickles?
this story?
Yeah,
And
now that you mention it, I that
so
makes
I
sense.
feel like that's a nod to that. And maybe I'm just grasping straws here, but I'm surprised that nobody's talked about that because that's the first thought when somebody said, "Oh, I'm going to get the tuna sandwich." I'm like, "Tuna sandwich? Oh," and that makes sense because they're serving it in Fantasyland at the restaurant where the old ship would have been, right in that
Okay.
area.
Okay.
So
That's see, now when we put a story behind it, it makes a bit more sense.
Now-
When you're going through the
But
list of
Now I
items,
like it.
but nobody's mentioned that at all. So I need to get on that and I need to record a reel and put that on GCT.
yeah.
Holly, I love that. I love that there's a story, but I'm telling you, there better be 70 stories then, if that's the case. All right.
Well, the banana split churro looks really good too, I have to say.
I think they're just trying to celebrate happy, right? They're trying
Yeah.
to come up with celebrate ideas that are
No, it's a
colorful.
well-known story that Walt ate banana splits every Monday with his churros, right? They're gonna make up a story like that.
Well, isn't there also like a Dorito covered dog or something? There was some kind of
There's a walking tamale, which I have no idea what a walking tamale is, but it's a walking tamale covered in Fritos.
okay.
That's like the new thing, these walking tacos and walking tamales. Like you take a bag of Doritos or a bag of Fritos and you put the
Oh,
like taco stuff in the
so
bag and
okay,
you
but
can walk around with it.
No, this isn't
this
that
has
though.
this name is totally incorrect because it's on a plate. It's a disaster. You actually have to use a fork to eat it. So I don't
Yeah.
know why they're calling it a walking taco,
Well,
and it's a
it might
tamale.
not be the same concept, but that's where they're getting it from. If you Google like walking
Okay.
taco, that's what it is.
Okay, well that makes sense. They do have something like that at the refreshment corner, and it's a bag. It's in a bag, and it's nachos, and then it's covered with Fritos again. And that one, I guess you could walk and
Yeah.
whatever. Okay, so yeah, I didn't realize that there were 70. I knew there was a lot, and I've tried a lot of them already. Definitely nowhere near 70. Oh my gosh, that's I don't know that could happen in 14 months, but maybe.
Well, you got pancakes. That's a special, like they're not reinventing the wheel here on a lot of these.
Right. I tried the celebration. There's so many names with celebration. Celebration macaron, celebration macaroon, celebration cake, celebration like it's really confusing. But I tried the celebration cake and that one was really good. It had like layers of lemon curd, confetti cake, cherries, I don't know, all sorts of stuff. But that one was really good. For this celebration, they brought back Paint the Night, which is a really great parade. I'm not a huge parade person, but this is a really good one. The funny thing is, it's actually 10 years old, and this past Friday, it celebrated its 10th anniversary. I did not realize that it debuted 10 years ago. I thought it was right before COVID, and then it went away.
I
But
actually
did
thought it
you
was longer than that, to be honest with you.
Oh, I
So
don't
did
know.
it come out for the 60th anniversary then?
I don't know, but it's funny that all these things that they're advertising so excited, but a lot of it's just repeats, like Paint the Night. Then they have the Wondrous Journeys, which they already had that fireworks show.
Hmm.
World of Color, obviously, but they've changed that.
I gotta say though,
So
that's one of the things that might get me out there though is the Paint the Night parade because I never did get a chance to see it ever.
The
yeah,
lighting, I don't know if it's just newer technology or whatever, but the lighting looks so like slick and
no,
it
it's
looks
so
it
good.
looks so nice. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks
It really is. It's a really, really great parade. So I watched it on the 16th, but I watched it from the teacups because people were waiting 3-4 hours to get a spot for the parade. I'm not doing that. So I watched it from the teacups. It comes right there next to the teacups, and we just kept getting on the teacups, watching it, going back. It was so funny.
So now, do the teacups go slower during the parade? Like, is it something that I can do?
Well,
well,
I
you can
can't
spin
normally
it.
do the teacups. Like, you just don't spin it.
Yeah.
And then I don't know if they were just being nice or what, because most everybody that was riding the teacups at that time, they were doing the same thing. So they weren't really like, okay, you need to exit. They were kind of just letting us sit for a moment and then letting us walk over to the fence, recording it, and then going back. And there was no lines. You just basically go back in line and go back and jump on it. And we did that over and over. It was actually a lot of fun. I get sick too. I remember one time somebody thought it was funny to spin the teacups, and I got off and went and immediately threw up. So, and I was totally fine. I didn't have any issues, and we did it over and over and over again. So, as long as you don't spin it,
Okay.
might be something
I've
you could
never
do.
done
But
the
you could
teacups
also
because
ride
just for
Alice
that
in
reason.
Wonderland too, and you can also get a glimpse of it too, but not as well
Yeah.
as on the teacups.
Yeah.
So I did finally watch it in its entirety this past week because I did the 70th tour. I'm kind of doing Dan's bucket list here, doing more tours. And when you do the 70th tour, you do get a reserved viewing spot for the parade.
Oh, I
There
didn't
are
know that.
a
So that's cool.
Yeah. So there's a couple ways you can get, well, three if you're a Club 33 member, but a couple ways you can get a reserved viewing spot, and that is by purchasing a dining package at the Plaza Inn,
Hmm.
and that is $55, and it comes with meatloaf, which is so random because they don't
That's
normally
it.
serve meat. It
That's
comes
the
with
only option.
meatloaf. Yes.
That's weird.
If when you check in, you can say if you don't eat red meat, and they'll give you the fried chicken. They're known for their fried chicken. Why wouldn't they just give you fried chicken? It's so weird to me. So you get meatloaf with, I think, mashed potatoes and pureed peas, which I do not like peas, so that sounds horrid to me. You get a wedge salad and a dessert, and that's for 55.
This all
Obviously,
sounds
kids
amazing too.
meals. I
Yeah,
like
I'm all
I
in for
like
all this stuff.
I think it
I
sounded good
like
too.
Yeah.
I like meatloaf. I don't know if I like Disney meatloaf, but I heard from one
Right.
person it was not good. But then they got the feedback that it wasn't good, so they're kind of making changes. And like I said, if you don't eat red meat, you can ask, and they'll switch you out for the chicken,
Yeah. See, no
which was
offense to
nice.
Walt, but I'd rather have meatloaf than a grilled cheese sandwich. You know what I mean? Like
Or
I could
tuna.
picture them doing something like that.
Oh,
You get a grilled cheese
yeah.
sandwich for the 70th, special parade
Mm.
celebration.
So you can do that, and then you get a reserved viewing area, or you can book the 70th tour, which is a story of celebration. And that will get you a reserved seating area for the parade as well. There's two showings of the parade, 8:45, and I think 10:30. So this would give you, both options give you the 8:45 time. It's in front of the train station, so it's pretty good
Hmm.
viewing
Nice.
area. Um, so the 70th tour, I did this past Thursday. It's $120 per person. And Stan, when was the last time you did a tour?
Me?
Yeah.
Well, at Disneyland, there was the walking in Walt's footsteps. That would have been before COVID.
Okay.
That would have been quite a bit before COVID, like 10 years before COVID, as far as Disneyland goes.
Do you have any idea what you paid for that? Just curious.
I'm thinking it was close to 100.
Okay. And
It was a
it
full
was,
day tour though. It was pretty much
oh,
8 hours though, and included lunch and a pin.
wow.
Yeah.
Okay, so now the tour is about 2 hours.
Yeah, it was
So this
longer
one
than 2
was
hours.
about
We did like 3
a 2-hour
attractions, and
tour.
yeah, we went up in Walt's apartment, and yeah.
So
Oh
they're
yeah, I
still
remember that.
doing that, but it's very different. I know that you got lunch with yours. They're not doing lunch anymore. One of the last tours I did was 2 years ago or whatever, year and a half ago, and that was the Christmas tour. Definitely no lunch or anything with that either. And the time for that was the happiest haunts, which the tours have changed drastically in my opinion. So this was $120 per person. It said approximately 2 hours. Um, if you have a Disney Visa, you get a discount. So we got it for I think $102 with the discount. So that's a pretty good discount. And I want the snacks. Like when we're walking around, I want them to give us snacks. So on the Happiest Haunts tour, I think we got like 4 snacks. It was like a 3-hour tour, and we would go to various spots and they would talk about something and we would get a snack.
Hmm.
They didn't get any snacks, any drinks. It was hot this day. I was dying of thirst. So we said, they're like, "Oh, you're going to get a break." And the break was you got 15 minutes from the 2-hour tour, which to me is kind of crazy. And you could go off and go get something to drink on your own.
Or go to the washroom.
Yeah. So in those 15 minutes. So like I said, it was about 2 hours, but the 15-minute break, and then they did release us about 15 or 10 minutes early. So it ended about 2:10,
It was like an hour and a half
2:15.
basically, and the end of it,
Yes.
yeah, an hour and 35
So
minutes.
So let me ask you, and then you get to go back to the parade spot
yes.
afterward? That's how it
Yes.
works. Okay.
So then between 8 and 8:45, the parade starts at 8:45. You go to the check-in area, you show your credentials because obviously they give you lanyard. Disney loves giving lanyards, right? So you get a lanyard and they have your name on a list. So you check in. That is when you get your snack. You get one of those like old-fashioned boxes of popcorn, but it's not regular popcorn. It's popcorn covered in white chocolate, and of course, it's covered in pink and blue for Celebrate Happy. It was actually pretty good, but they didn't give you a drink. And even though it's covered in chocolate, it's still salty popcorn, no drink. So you had to either run and get your own drink at that time or know you're getting popcorn and you need to bring a drink. Um, but there was one part of the tour that was quite disappointing because we were over by the Golden Horseshoe and they were talking about its 70th anniversary, and it actually opened prior to the park because Walt and Lillian were celebrating their anniversary, and they were celebrating with mint juleps. At this time, I'm dying of thirst. They're talking about mint juleps and how it was refreshing and how all their guests
These
got it.
things are amazing.
Tell me you're not expecting a mint julep at that moment.
Yeah.
I was all ready. I was looking around for the cast member to come with trays of mint juleps. Nope. Okay, guys, so now we're going to go ahead. And I'm like,
We're gonna go talk about churros now, and then we're gonna talk about candy apples.
I just am in shock that they didn't give something during this tour. I don't know. I guess my expectations were just too high, but that's for me one of the perks of doing the tours because you walk around and you get a specialty treat, and normally they're different than what you can buy when they give you something. And is it going to cost Disney that much money to give a round of mint juleps? No, it
Yeah.
isn't. Like, and especially when you're paying $120 for an hour and a half tour, right? So the cast member doing the tour was awesome, of course. His helper that was helping pass out the things was great too. In my opinion, this tour was definitely not worth it. We learned some fun little stories about Walt and opening day, but most of them we already know. If you're a big Disney fan, you already know them. There was a couple things that I did learn, like I didn't know that Walt and Lillian did their anniversary dinner at the Golden Horseshoe and had mint juleps, but you know what I mean. So there wasn't a lot of things that were really new. And then one of the other things, you're supposed to ride the Mark Twain together, which we did. We did that. And then you're supposed to go on the train together. Well, for me, one of the perks going on the attractions with the tour guide is while you're on the attraction, they usually give you some history while you're on it. So they did that on the Mark Twain, which was really nice. But because there was a couple people in our group that had they were in like a wheelchair, we couldn't go on the train. So we had to skip that whole portion of the tour.
Oh, I
So
heard that's where they hand all the snacks out, is on the train.
well, that would make sense. That would make sense.
That's where you get
So
your mint julep while you're riding the
yeah.
train.
Okay.
I did this. That's where I got mine when I did this tour.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's all the research told me.
So, and then they give you a lightning lane for Mickey Minis, which doesn't make any sense to me because that is not an opening day attraction. I have no idea why they picked that. Well, they gave us a lightning lane. We never got to use it. It was broken every time we tried to use it.
No.
So we never even got to use it. Yeah, so I don't know. And it was kind of disappointing, especially for how much it costs. I know like the Happiest Haunt tours, and I know this was before COVID. I think I paid $75. We got 4 snacks. It was like 3 hours long. It really felt worth it. This at 120 popcorn at the end of the night. I mean, the reserved viewing was great. It really was. But I could have paid $55 for the same viewing and got meatloaf and baby food, you know?
Man, baby food, the mushy peas.
I don't know. I tried not to watch any reviews or anything before I went on it, but now I kind of want to go back and see what other people thought of it. I know that cast members were previewing it before, and of course, they were saying it's great, but they weren't paying for it. So, you know, it's always a little bit better when you're not paying for it. So I'm curious what those that had to pay for it actually think about this tour. So,
can you tell us a little bit about those Magic Band Plus special moments that they have throughout the park?
Yeah. So this was really smart, I think, on Disney part, because you can only utilize these, what you call them, magic moments.
Yeah, special moments, I think they call it.
Yeah. Okay. If you have a Magic Band Plus. So I was watching somebody's and they didn't have one and they were like, oh, should we buy one? Well, they ended up buying one just so they could do these. So that's really smart because these bands are 30, 40, 50, 60, all the way to like $70 for these bands, right?
Yep.
So
well,
they are
light up
fun.
and everything.
So I have one from Disney World, and I was obviously able to use it here.
Okay, that answers my question because I was going to ask.
Yes.
Do you know if you can use a Disney World one that's already been activated at Disney World?
Yes.
Okay, good to know.
Yes, you can. You just have to change it to your pass for here.
Okay.
So so when you first walk in, there's several of them through the park. I have not been to DCA yet. I don't know for the 70th. I'm not sure if there's any of these interactive things at DCA. I don't think there is, but I don't quote me on that because I'm not.
I didn't do
sure.
a ton of research, but the research I have done, there wasn't any.
Okay. I mean, it would make sense that there isn't, but you never know. Okay. So one of the ones is on Main Street when you are at the Main Street Cinema, you know, Tilly, the ticket taker right there. In the base of the ticket stand, they have the little emblem. It says 70, and that's what you're going to scan with your Magic Band. And then a little ticket, they're calling, what are they calling these? Little commemorative, let's see. So obviously, passengers, you can't see this, but this little ticket comes out, and it says Emit 1, so Main Street Cinema, and then it says a new verse. So this is a tribute to the Sherman Brothers. On the back of it, it says Cinematic 70th Disneyland, and then it says valued magic key holder. So I'm very curious what it says for others. So if you're just like a day ticket, but you do have a Magic Band, I'm wondering what it says when it prints out.
Because just to back up a second, so it goes based off of your Magic Band, right? Like it knows your information. So
yeah,
it's
it must.
hard for different people. That's what I've heard.
Correct.
Yep. Yep.
Yes. So I saw somebody who's a Club 33 member, and when they
Right.
scanned theirs, it printed out value Club 33 member.
Wow.
So
Now, is
yeah,
it
so
is it
that's what,
printed or is it like I can't tell like what kind of quality it is. Is it like a
yeah, no,
printer
they're
that's going
really
on?
good, but it's printed. So I don't know
So do
if
you
they're
hear like the
printing.
printer going while the card's coming out, or how does that?
It does take a moment. It takes a moment for them to come out because on opening day the line was pretty long and you scan it and you're like, "Oh, is it broken?" and you keep scanning it because it doesn't come out like instant. So I
Right.
think it is printing
Wow.
those words. So, okay, so that is the first one. And then not to change the subject, but I believe they're saying this a new verse because on the actual anniversary of July 17th is when they're going to add the new verse to It's a Small World. There was a verse that was written that was never added, and they're going to add that in to the ride on July 17th.
Oh,
So
cool.
I think that's for that. Okay, and then one of the other ones is Fantasyland. There's a wall next to like the Bibbidi Bobbidi Boutique, and there's all these. They kind of look like little shields. And when you scan your band, they open up, and like a scene from like Peter Pan plays music. There's 4 of them in a row, but the only problem is it has the speakers. So only one person can do all 4 of those at a
Oh,
time because
okay.
there's only one speaker.
Yeah.
So the other day I didn't know this, and there was a little girl in front of me, and she was like 2 in front of me, and then we were fighting basically who could scan it first. But I didn't know that until the mom said, "Oh, I think you have to wait for her because there's only one speaker for it to work." So
So you were fighting a little girl? Is that what you're saying?
yeah, exactly. And I'm like,
This
"Oh,
sounds
that
like
makes sense."
madness.
Yeah.
Oh, jeez.
But it's really cute. But once again, just another
It's
little
pretty cute
interactive
pushing
thing.
this little girl out of the way so I can push my magic
Oh,
band before her.
I know. But I was like, okay. I mean, they should have separate speakers, but I guess it might just be too noisy. Um, and then there's 3 over in Frontierland against the store over there. I do not know what the store is called, but there's 3 right in a row, and there's this little cage over there, like it's kind of like a
Yeah, I
ticket
saw that.
taker cage.
Yep.
And then when you scan one, it makes the sound of like the Mark Twain. And so this one prints out, and it's a picture of the Mark Twain riverboat. Same thing on the back. It says valued magic key holder. Um, and then for transportation around rivers of America. And then next to that one is the Golden Horseshoe review. And then it just talks about the house rules of the Golden
Now,
Horseshoe.
can you
And once
just sit there and
again,
just keep pushing these things constantly and get like 20 of them, or you're only allowed like 1 per day, or how does that work?
yes, I honestly don't know because there's been a line and I haven't really wanted to like
Go back
I
in line.
try it, but
I
I
think
don't
it's one a day. That's what I
one a
heard.
day. Okay. Okay.
Yeah,
That's
that
good
you
to
can
know.
do that. Yeah.
And then the other one, and this was cute when you scan it, then you hear the train going off. And this is Enjoy Grand Central Tour on the Disneyland Railroad. And it's first class fare. So it's like a little train ticket. And on the back, same thing. It says magic key holder. So I am missing, I only have 4 of them. I keep forgetting there's another one over in the Jungle Cruise area. So I have yet to do that one. But I know that Stan said he wanted the railroad one, so I'm gonna send these
I
to
Very
thought it
cool.
said
Yeah,
Grand
I mean,
Circle Tour. It says Grand
it
Central Tour.
doesn't. Yeah, isn't that weird? So do we change our name now, or what,
Yeah,
how
me,
does
I
that?
guess
well,
so.
no. The story behind it is we copyrighted the name, so Disney can't
Oh,
use it. So
yeah,
that's
right.
what happened.
Okay, there we go. That makes sense.
Oh, shoot.
Yep.
Okay, okay.
You know, the
Um,
Disney lawyers, they're on top of stuff like that. They don't want to be,
right.
stepping on our toes.
I feel like I'm forgetting. Do you have a list of them, Stan? I feel like I'm forgetting
Well,
them, but I know there's only 5 tickets. I know there's
oh,
5
I don't know
tickets you
about the
can get.
tickets, but as far as the anniversary type stuff, one of the things that I'm really, I guess you haven't done it because you haven't been to DCA yet, but Toy Story Midway Mania
Oh yeah.
has a
Yeah,
has a
that looks
new
cool.
new layover or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
I Is it just one scene? I think it's just one of the scenes that they have, and basically the targets like a
Say 70.
70th birthday cake or something like that, where they change the targets. to
Yeah,
70.
but that's cool. That's a
Yeah.
cool idea. I like
Yeah, that is a
little
good
things,
idea.
Right.
little details like
Yeah.
that. You know me, I'm all about the details.
Yeah.
Disney Visa card actually has a 70th anniversary
Mhm.
card you can order, and if you're a current
Yeah.
Disney Visa card holder, you can order the 70th anniversary card to replace your current Disney Visa card.
That's one thing nice about those, you can replace them as
Yeah.
often as you want. Every time they come out with a new
I do.
theme,
Yep. I change mine often.
Yeah, I see Dan's logging in right now to order the the new 70th card.
celebrate happy. Yeah.
Yeah,
I kind of like my
Um,
baby Yoda I have right now. I get a lot of compliments with it. So.
yeah, I had that one for a while too, but I have the other one now, the yellow with all the is it just Mickey and Pluto? I don't know, but I like
yeah.
that one. It's very classic.
Something I thought was interesting is you can actually taste the 70th anniversary uh, via Joffrey's Coffee, because they have a 70th anniversary coffee blend that you can buy at the parks.
Oh gosh, I bet that's delicious.
So you can bring that home. You know, you can taste what the 70th anniversary actually tastes like.
You know, when we were at what was it was the 50th, right? I can't keep track of all these
Yeah, the
anniversaries.
50th
Yeah,
is
I
the
was
one
just
you
thinking of
right.
50th.
Yeah. And in the room they gave you the 50th blend and then the regular blend.
Mm-hmm.
And we had like a taste test. We couldn't tell the difference. I mean, I
That's
couldn't tell at
funny.
all.
Did a taste test.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so funny. So another thing that they just added were 2 new characters to It's a Small World. So
Yep.
now we have Miguel and Dante, which are
Yeah.
adorable, of course.
From Coco.
So yeah, so that was really cute to see them in there.
Speaking
And
of 2 new
then
characters, I thought I left them behind at Hong Kong, but I guess they came on the plane with me because Duffy and Allie Mae are now at Disneyland.
yes, so there's a cavalcade, and what is that one called? Oh my goodness. Oh, Celebrate Happy Cavalcade. Oh, that
Or
was
Shelley Mae,
hard
sorry.
to
Very clever. Very
yeah.
clever.
So it's cute. And it's funny because we're like, yeah, remember when they used to be here in DCA and nobody could care less about them? And my friend who's a huge Disney fan was like, wait, what? They were at DCA. We're like, yeah, they were there every day over on the pier. Nobody ever did meet and greets with them, so they sent them away. And now they're all the rage. So
Yeah.
yeah, they were really cute. And they're little, I don't know what those were, little bikes or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But so that was cute. I saw that.
And then there's the popcorn buckets and sippers. They have quite a few of them, but did you see the Talking Mickey one?
Yeah, so I
That
have it
looked
on my list.
crazy impressive.
So, but the problem is they're not working. So you're
Yeah, I
supposed to
heard that
say,
too.
"Hey, Mickey," and he's supposed to say,
He's supposed
start
to-
talking. That's it, like, "Hey, Siri," and they're not working, and they're $55.
Oh my.
And so people are not happy because they cannot get them to work, and they're just like screaming, "Hey, Mickey," and they're not working. So I don't know how that works, because typically when you buy a popcorn bucket, they say, okay, look it over because there's
Yep.
no refunds on these. So I'm wondering what's happening then, because
I saw a TikTok of like the line just because it's taking people forever to inspect it.
Mm.
yeah, and that's so expensive. I don't know. I really,
Yeah.
for
I wouldn't want to
50,
spend it and not make sure it works. I would be so mad.
And then I liked they have like the Yeti one, the Yeti
Mhm.
sipper, super cute, but it's $35. Like, I don't know that. I mean, obviously people are buying them, but they're so pricey for these
Yeah. They have
popcorn
another balloon
buckets.
one, of
And
course.
yep, they do. And then I was a sucker and bought that other one, the magic key holder one, the like rectangle one. Did you see that one? It's really
Yeah.
pretty, but the quality is not like that great. But it did come with popcorn and a soda, and they fit in there perfectly. But I think that was $30 for that. And it's not that like, I don't know.
Yeah. So oddly enough, the one I got in Hong Kong, because I was able, with my pass I bought, I was able to pick any popcorn bucket holder I wanted. And
Uh-huh.
most of them are pretty big and take up a lot of luggage space, where this one was kind of nice because I could fold it up. And
Oh,
as much
okay.
as I wanted a really nice Toy Story one, I took the folding one, and it had the pass that I bought on it and all that. It was very similar to the one you got, but it also had
Okay.
on top, you could put wipes on the on the top
Oh,
of it,
that's
and it had like
cool.
a flap that would close down, and you could put like big baby wipes or hand wipes in the top of it with a little flap, which I thought was
That's cool.
really ingenious.
Yeah.
I'm so shocked they didn't have that on the Disneyland ones.
Yeah, I wish. Yeah, because that'd be really good.
How you didn't
Um,
go to DCA? You said, right?
I why did we go over there? Oh, I went over there to get fried pickles. So I went over there, got the fried pickles, and left. I didn't do anything else over there. So I
I'm looking
haven't.
forward to the World of Color Happiness. That new show that looks pretty
Yeah,
cool.
I've heard it's really good, and then they have that Muppets
Yeah, the
pre-show
Muppets
for
part
it, which is
exactly. Yep.
Yeah.
no. So I have not seen that yet. I really need to
And then
And
like
then I
because
think there's
World
like
of
an
Color is really good.
interactive part where you could choose one of the characters from Inside Out for it to focus on.
I
Did you hear about that?
I saw that,
I think
Yeah.
you
but
vote
I
on which
don't.
one you like the best
Yeah. But
of the
I don't know.
characters.
I don't know what they are, but like I don't know. Like you're voting on fear or sadness. I don't know. It seems a little weird.
Yeah, yeah,
Right,
yeah.
right.
Yeah,
So
who's your
disgusting.
favorite? I like Fear.
Because joy is not an option because I think joy is the narrator, right? If I heard that
Oh, yeah,
correctly.
yeah.
Yeah,
So the options are like three of the bad emotions.
I like being angry.
Yeah.
That's if
Just
you need if the kid chooses angry, then you got to take him in, for some counseling or
so
something.
it's so the other day we were there, my friend Robbie had on a shirt of all the emotions, right? And we were just standing there and
I saw your reel. That was funny.
Andrew pulls out his phone and he's like, "Hey Holly, how you feeling today?" And because we kept saying, "Robbie, how you feeling?" And he point to one of the emotions on the shirt. So he's like, "Holly, how you feeling today?" And I see anger and I punch anger and it happened to be like right in Robbie's gut, right? But we had an audience. Like people were walking by and they thought I was really mad. And they were like, oh, like I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have security over here thinking like I'm really punching him. It was so funny. But yeah, I was like, oh gosh, I'm gonna get in trouble. But
Yeah.
yeah, it was pretty funny.
And then I guess we didn't talk too much about merch, but I guess the one big merch thing that everybody's going gaga over are those big plastic keys.
Yes.
Yep.
So the what is that thing called? I have it written down here
Magic key, I
somewhere.
thought.
The big plastic
Yeah,
kid.
Yeah.
yeah. So it's $59.
The 70th
And
anniversary celebrate happy magic key is probably what the name.
And of
what they're
course,
doing.
it sold out on day one. By the
Yeah.
time I got there in the afternoon, it was gone, which is probably a good thing. So,
Good thing for you, but not a
yeah,
good thing for Disney. I'm surprised that it sold out. Like you would
no, it was
think that
just,
this
it was
would
back
be.
the next day.
It was okay.
It was,
Okay,
yeah, it was back the next day. They're fully in stock now.
gotcha.
Um, but yeah, so these things are $60 and people are going crazy inside. There's a pin
Hmm.
and there's 7 different pins, and of course people are 9 different pins. Why am I confused now? Oh, one for every land, right? So 9 different pins, and people are going crazy. They want to collect all of the pins, so you have people buying tons of these keys at $60 each, well, at least on the first day. I don't know how often they're doing this now, and they're basically, you can just pop them open, because how they work is you have to go around to each land. They have a little cute kiosk thing where you insert the pin, it lights up, bubbles come out, and then it lights up that land. So then you basically, it's like you check that off your list, and then you go through, and then the last one's at the park entrance. When you put that one in, same thing, but then it pops open and there's a little pin in there. Well, people are wanting to collect all of them, which is crazy because it's $60 each. And so they're buying all of them, tons of keys, try to collect all of these pins. But they are doing trading stations. So if you got a duplicate, you can try and go and trade it. But I don't know. That's crazy to me, but
Is
I'm
there
not a
one
pin
like that's
collector.
more rare than others?
I don't know. I keep asking that question because there has to be. I know there's a
Yeah.
partners one and a castle one. To me, those would be the ones I would want. Um, but
So the
I
person I
I don't
followed,
know.
they got the castle. They got the partners one,
Okay.
and they bought one key, and that was the one pin they got.
Oh, okay. Were they happy with that one?
Yeah, that was one they wanted.
Oh,
So
okay,
I'm
perfect.
guessing that's not the hard one to find.
Okay. So we did want to do this. This was, if you remember my waltz up, I was so excited, but I have seen it done so much now. I'm kind of over it. But I was gonna buy it for the kids because we had the twins with us on opening day. And so it's a fun little interactive thing, especially for the kids to do. But they were sold out. So
Mhm.
I don't know. We're about to be blocked out for the entire summer. So after summer, am I going to want this again? I don't know. So we'll see. We'll see if we get one or not.
Yeah, apparently for people that are curious, my understanding for the way you have to open it, you can't really just pry it open because I think it would break. There's like a little pinhole on top of the
Yeah.
handle, and you could put a pin in there, and that will allow it to open.
Yeah, but you sent like people who bought tons of these are now just selling the key without the pin in it just to use for kids to use.
Yeah.
And I don't
mean, I
even know
guess
how much
if
they
it's
were
just a
selling
kid,
those for.
you could buy it for off one of these people that are selling them for way cheaper, and put whatever pin in, and the kid's not going to know.
Yeah, well, I mean, mine would.
Well, yeah, yours
But
would. But most kids.
they'd be like,
Yeah.
"Oh, ripped off. This isn't what was supposed to be in here."
Yeah. Was there any? Did it when you were there? Did it feel like was there excitement in the air? Did it feel like a re-grand opening or anything?
It did, because like I said, it was very busy. They had media there, they had filming crews there, and then the lines were really short, which was great. I'm like, we're gonna actually get a ride today. We hadn't rode rides in weeks.
Mhm.
Like, so we actually got to ride some rides, but it did, because people were dressed up, and I had on my little fun sequin conductor hat. I was able to get one of those. I was excited because those were sold out too. They're back in stock. But so yeah, it did. And then when they opened in the morning, from what I could see, it seemed very exciting, and all the cast members out there greeting everybody with the Mickey hands, which I know they do that a lot in the mornings anyways, but it seemed a lot more.
Yeah.
I didn't see anybody from the higher ups in Disney. I'm sure they were there somewhere, but like I said, I got there in the afternoon, so I don't know if you guys would probably know more than me since you guys watch a lot of YouTubes and things. Was there anybody?
I didn't see any of the higher ups. I will say that everyone seemed to think that there was a little bit of magic in the air, and everyone was very happy with it. Even the critical vloggers, like the ones that are there just to bash them, even they were
Right.
like, "Wow, this is a really really good setup that they have," and it seemed
Well,
like
that's
pretty
good.
smooth.
I actually went, and when I got there, I didn't even want to go anymore because I planned on going in the morning. It didn't work out. So I went in the afternoon, and I was kind of in not a very good mood, but it turned around really quickly once I got there because there was a different vibe in the air.
Holly
And
voted for anger, by the way, that day.
yeah,
That's why
I
she
really
punched
did.
you in the stomach.
And then with all the new treats and just, I don't know, it was. So I really did think that you could feel the celebration. But there's still a lot that I haven't done.
Well, there's still more
There's
coming too, really. I mean,
Yeah,
right.
like Small World Layover is coming. I guess that's not really for the
Yeah,
70th per
the
se.
song. And then the Walt, the
the
new
wall.
Yeah,
animatronic.
Great Moments with Mr. Lincoln is going to be
And that's opening on the actual day,
Correct.
right?
Yeah, that's
yeah,
gonna be chaos. That's gonna be chaos for that.
yeah.
Um, and then there's another on the Small World facade. So it's called the Tapestry of Happiness. It's a projection show. I have yet to see that one. It's inspired by Mary Blair. I haven't seen the World of Color. So there's still a lot of things to do. And gosh, still have like what 60 more food items to get through. So
I'll say this. I mean, they did a good job with adding a lot of stuff and like doing it
uh-huh.
all what was the date? The 16th? Like starting the
Hmm.
16th, all of this stuff just happened,
Right. I
overnight.
agree.
So,
Yeah,
Because
it's
I
pretty
didn't
cool.
even know anything about like these little interactive things. And I'm
right.
thinking, gosh, they had to be here. It's not like they just installed these last night. So they had to be right here in front of our face and they just weren't activated yet or something. So so
And they
yeah,
did
I think they did
there's
good
like
job.
stage shows, and I think there was like two new stage shows they're doing also, and so
Yeah, there's
it's
a
pretty cool.
lot. There's a lot. So and
Yeah.
then Costco is doing a really good ticket deal too, if anybody's interested in that too. Um, but yeah, so there's a
And
lot
I
of
heard that
things
they now
going
have
on.
a 70th anniversary hot air balloon. I don't know what they're going to be doing with this. I'm guessing it's going to be going to different cities across the country.
Really? I did
Yeah,
not know
I
about
just
that.
read that this morning that they released a hot air balloon and it has like the Mickey Mouse on the side and the big 70th medallion
Really?
on one side. Yeah, it looks
Is it
really
actually going to fly around?
Yeah, yeah. They were testing it at the ESPN headquarters.
Oh,
Wow.
that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Probably be in Temecula wine country. But
So a new way to celebrate happy is to look up in the skies and see the
Right.
hot air balloon. I hope it does a tour across the U.S. and people get
Yeah,
That would
that'd
be
be
cool.
pretty
I mean,
cool.
that's pretty cool advertising.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Follow the balloon.
Yeah.
And then the bananas will be there at Disneyland this
Mhm.
coming Wednesday. So that's exciting. And I didn't think it was going to be like crazy, but I'm seeing it everywhere now. I feel like it's going to be crazy.
Yeah, it's
So,
gonna be crazy. You going to that?
yes. Yep. I have I'm making a banana, a little shoulder pal. And then I have a banana shirt and gonna try some of the new banana themed foods.
Get a
So yeah, should
banana
be
split
fun.
churro.
Yeah, so they have that and then a banana split. And then they have a banana snow cone. I think I'm gonna get the banana snow cone. It has like little banana runt candies in it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
Try that one.
love those.
But any final thoughts on
Well, we didn't really talk about the merch, but there's tons of merch out there with 70th on it, and that's expected.
and it's actually like I said, I don't love the colors, but they did a really good job with it because I feel like it's really well made. So a lot of the stuff, is just printed on, but they have a lot of it embroidered. So the word Disneyland is now embroidered on it. Some of the things are embroidered, which I think adds, a little extra to it. They also added like $10 extra on the stuff too for the embroidery, but I appreciate that they're doing like the embroidery because it just makes it look nicer and I think lasts longer than just
Yeah.
the printing.
I heard that they were doing 4 different 70th collections, like clothing collections. I don't know if you've seen them. And I was like, my thought was, are they all being released day one, or are they going to like release them throughout the year, these different collections?
I'm going to say they're going to release them throughout the year. That would be the best to keep it going because
I think that's what the plan is. Because when I read that, I'm like, wow, that's pretty smart. If that's what they're
yeah,
gonna like
it
say.
is because you're like, oh shoot, well now I need this one too. Oh well, this one's cuter than the last one. So yeah, I actually think they did a really good job with this. So
Yeah.
good
Everything I've
job.
seen has been very positive about it.
Yeah, same.
I think they needed it. I really do. And
Mhm.
then with Lilo and Stitch, I think they're doing some things good right now. They just need to fix that tour. They
Did
need
everyone
to.
see Disney stock prices lately?
Yep. Yeah.
Skyrocketing right now. Should have
Yeah.
all jumped in.
I jumped in back in COVID and it's finally recovering now.
Well, it recovered. It was like
I know.
almost doubled at one point, and then it
Yeah.
went away.
Yeah, exactly. So Disney, just work on your 70th tour. Give out a snack during the tour, please.
Yeah.
But with that, we'll end it here. So this was fun, guys. Thanks. Ken, take it away.
If you would like to keep the adventure going after the show, be sure to visit our Facebook page, Disney Friends of the Grand Circle Tour Podcast. While you're on Facebook, like our page, Grand Circle Tour Podcast. Be sure to follow us on Twitter, Grand Circle Tour Podcast, on Instagram at GCT Podcast, and our YouTube channel, Grand Circle Tour. On TikTok, Grand Circle Tour. That's all one word. If you'd like to email us, drop us a line, gctpodcast@gmail.com. T-shirts and other fun merch can be found at tpublic.com. Simply search Grand Circle Tour Podcast. If you enjoyed your visit, leave us a review on Apple Podcast. Only one rule, make it good. All logos, sounds, music, and songs that are made by and for Disney and its affiliates are owned in full by the Disney Corporation, and they are not, nor are they intended to be owned in any way by the Grand Circle Tour Podcast. Thank you for riding with us, and welcome home.